Why didn't many of us who have been sexually assaulted fight or yell? Why are our memories so often fragmentary and confusing? The answers to these questions are really important because for far too long, far too many survivors of sexual assault have been misunderstood, doubted, and even blamed for what happened to us. Not only by investigators and prosecutors, but by people who know and love us. And we often doubt and blame ourselves because we don't understand why we couldn't effectively defend ourselves and why our memories are incomplete and jumbled. This brief video is the first in a series that provides answers to those questions and more. These videos on sexual assault in the brain will give you a solid foundation for understanding what can happen in our brains and bodies during a sexual assault. That solid foundation is based on the experiences of survivors of sexual assault and people who have been attacked in other ways, including in military combat, and decades of scientific research, especially on the brain. Everywhere around the world, in every culture, our most common responses during sexual assaults are basically the same. Why? Because evolution sculpted them into our brains. Long before we were sophisticated enough to create cultures, long before people began to misunderstand our responses with culture-based expectations of how we should respond during assaults and remember them later. In this series, we draw on neurobiology and other research to explain why we seldom fight, yell, or escape sexual assaults, and why our memories of being sexually assaulted are often fragmentary and confusing. If we can understand the basics of how stress and trauma impacted our brains, then our responses and memories will make sense, and that understanding will help our pursuits of healing and justice.